I get a bunch of people asking me, hey, Flossie, what's the difference between focused affirming, robotic affirming, and power affirming? If you want to know what I think about that, then stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to not another episode of Spill the Tea Tuesday, but we are here on Fun on Affirmation Friday with me, Flossie. If you are new here, welcome to Your Thoughts Create. If you don't know me, I've been a coach for Sammy Ingram for going on my 5th year, and I love to teach all things manifestation related. So let's just get right into what is focused affirming, robotic affirming, power affirming, and what are the differences. So I've talked about them in previous videos, but not all in one video. And since I'm making Fridays fun on Affirmation Fridays with Flossie, I thought I would talk about things affirmation related. So focused affirming. I will try to link my video for that right here. It's essentially what I started calling the affirming that I was doing when I was using a tally counter. I guess once again, I will have to link the picture up somewhere on this video of the counter apps that I use. I usually use Vivid Counter or Counter App Plus. But essentially, every time you think or say out loud an affirmation, you are tapping the screen of your phone if you're using an app. If you're using a handheld counter like me, which can look something like this, you would press the button every time you affirm. Not to be too confusing, I often loop my affirmation one at a time, and then when I get to 100, I like this one because it beeps, I move on to the next affirmation that I'm doing that are on my list, my known list that I have in my head. Some people choose to loop their 2 or 3 affirmations for the topic that they're affirming and then hit it once. So the different ways that you can do focused affirming basically means you're using a focusing tool. I like to use either the handheld tally counter that's on my phone on an app, or I like to use one of these that, fits in your hand. So I can either be like, I'm a master manifesting, I'm a master manifesting, I'm a master manifesting, I'm a master manifesting while I'm looping in my head. Or I can be like, I'm a master manifesting, I always get what I want, everything always works out for me, boom. I'm a master manifesting, I always get what I want, everything always works out for me, boom. It doesn't matter which way you do it. I use mine, this one when I'm driving, because like I said, it beeps. And I use it till I get to 100, and that's when I know to switch to the next one. But I predominantly use it as just a focusing tool so that my mind knows to keep affirming and it doesn't wander. That's why I call it focused affirming, because you're actually focusing on the affirming. That doesn't mean that you can't do some activities with it. I typically do it on my commute. You can also do it if you're like going for a walk, something where you can hold the handheld counter. But I use it as a focusing tool to focus on the affirmations, which is why I call it focused affirming. If you want to do robotic affirming, of course you can do that. Robotic affirming is sometimes done like while doing an activity like washing dishes, taking a shower. There are some people who do robotic affirming while they're literally watching TV, reading, or having conversations. Essentially with robotic affirming, you're looping affirmations and looping them and not putting too much attention on the affirmations you're affirming. Your attention is more on either the activity that you're doing, and sometimes people are able to get their mind trained to the point where that's just kind of running on autopilot in the background. It can help you to keep a clean mental diet. Some people like to robotic affirm throughout the day. It doesn't matter if you lose your focus and your mind wanders. Why? Because you're just doing some robotic affirming. It's a way to still saturate your mind, to keep a clean mental diet. The affirmations are just looping here and there. Enough of your attention is usually on it so that you know that you're affirming, but you're not actually really focusing on the affirmations. You're usually focusing on something else. It could be argued that that's a form of active affirming, where someone's maybe doing an activity like washing dishes, taking a shower, or whatever, walking down the hall while they're affirming, but not like doing a focused affirming, holding a counter. But sometimes, you're not really doing much of an activity when you're robotically affirming. It's just kind of playing in the background, kind of almost like if you're listening to a radio station. I think that it can be very helpful. It can be helpful to keep a clean mental diet. you are saturating your mind more, but you're not really focusing your mind on it, like with focused affirming. Power affirming, which I'll try to link my video right there, is essentially when you're using either the counter app on your phone or a handheld tally counter, and you're trying to affirm as much as you can, either in a set amount of time, like, hey, I'm gonna affirm for like 5 minutes, and I'm gonna see how many affirmations I can knock out in that period of time, and you're really like rapidly looping, or you're like, okay, I'm gonna see how quick it takes me to get to 500, and you're looping. I call it power affirming because it's like you're, instead of, you know, focused affirming, you might be like a jog, like that might be jogging. You know, it's like robotic affirming, you're going on a slow, lazy dazel walk because your mind might wander. You don't give a fuck. You're just kind of affirm, you know, wander, affirm. And it's kind of like leisurely, I guess you could say. Focused affirming, you're like, it's like you're jogging. You're going on a jog. And, you know, you're like looping affirmations, you're looping them, but you're not looping them as fast as you can. Power affirming is like going on a sprint, like you are sprinting. You are focusing on what you're doing. Your mind is laser focused. You're really affirming, but you're just sprinting it, and you're seeing how much you can saturate your mind in a short period of time. It's like doing like a power burst, literally. So I'm hoping that this video is kind of making sense to you, the differences between them. I typically recommend to do focused affirming for your routine, so that if you're spending, you know, if you're doing the 10-minute method and you're spending some time affirming, that is actually focused on your affirmations, that your mind isn't wandering, that you're actually spending the time affirming. I think sometimes power affirming can feel a little much for people if they're doing it for the routine, because it's like a long period of time that they're trying to affirm for. Power affirming is a short burst, like a sprint. You don't sprint forever. Why? Because you're going to get tired and be dragging yourself, because it's so much energy, oomph, and you're putting in at once. So focused affirming is what I say to do for routine. Power affirming when you just feel like busting out some affirmations, or maybe if you're really having some negative thoughts and you want to do that. Robotic affirming, keep a clean mental diet, and to keep, like, you know, slowly, leisurely saturating your mind throughout the day, not really fully paying attention to it, paying some attention to it, doing other things at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Leisurely, kind of paying attention. Focused, more like a jog, you're really paying attention. Power affirming, it's all you're focusing on, that's all you're doing. It's a short burst, it's like a sprint to saturate your mind. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. It's just a quick video for fun on Affirmation Friday with Flossie, and until the next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.